investors aren't afraid to say, I'm an investor. You're
Right.
in that transaction. You're in that living room. You're at that kitchen table because you are the right solution potentially for this person. And you have the cash, you have the terms, you have the terms and conditions, right? It's like so many people think, oh, it's all about the bottom line of this homeowner sold their house for, X amount of dollars less than what my comparative market analysis says. But what they don't understand is that homeowner had 50 cats, or that homeowner had, 17 dogs and 50 cats, and and it didn't smell great, maybe, or the carpets had. There are a lot of things where it's easy to not have all of the information, and that home, or maybe it was just the convenience factor, because we talk about so much disruption in the world of real estate. But if you think about disruption, when a licensee goes to list your house, I mean, at least me, when I was listing houses, I was the disruptor. I was like, girl, you didn't vacuum that carpet, but where's your vacuum cleaner at? I didn't vacuum this carpet before I let people come in here, right? Why is the countertop sticky? We have an open house today. We are a disruption. You sort of are saying, no, your kids' rooms need to look like the Lennar model or the Kayhoff model. Like, this is the goal. And people are saying, I got to live here. And so for a group of people out there, they'll say, you know what, I would rather take this much left, have my money, walk away, move on to what it is that I want to move on to, and investors are the right solution for that. And I think that's what a lot of people forget in that beautiful thing we have in the United States, right? The right to private contract, the right to, as an adult, enter terms and conditions and say, this is what's right for me, is that you don't have all the facts. You weren't there. Nobody was, I hope, gosh forbid, holding a gun to anybody's head to sign any documents, right? Like that's just not the way it happened. And I think investors probably value their reputation as investors in the community just as much as real estate licensees value their reputations. But, we got to worry about that tiny little sliver. That's...
Because it was a disconnect between agents and investors for some time, right? Because agents thought that every opportunity was a listing for them. But like you said, it's we look for a small sliver of people that needs that speed and convenience in order to sell that house or conduct that transaction. So all you fellow agents out there, not all investors are bad, right? There's quite a few good actors out there.
Then I also would maybe even want to distinguish or separate investor, right? You have the last podcast we were talking about 2020, 2021, 2022, the boom, right? There's investors like us. I think it's like 65% of landlords are mom and pop, 1, 2, 3, 4 houses. But then at that time, the hedge funds came in, the iBuyers. They were paying 100% or more retail for a junky property. They put us not out of business, but like competed, which is fine. And then also you have the FHA first-time home buyers. You got to buy a house as is condition, aggressive terms, just to even compete with the California or the hedge fund. So I think we got a big misconception there, like it's who we are potentially. Any thoughts on that? Because I know that's driving like rent control ideas, and from those jacking rents, what's that apartment community that was raising rents, and I don't even know that whole story yet, but so we're competing with that as local investors.
It's Wall Street versus local
Wall Street,
right? It's Wall Street and it's real estate investment trusts, and they end up with thousands of doors of rental inventory inside the marketplace. And yes, I was practicing real estate. I remember those days where sort of the bid up of market value was ridiculous, and you weren't having to appraise because they were cash transactions, and so you were driving with those. Every closing of a cash transaction was just driving the pricing up. And you're absolutely right. Those first-time home buyers, those VA buyers with zero down, FHA buyers, gosh, it was such a...
They come buy a house?
Horrible.
Is that hurting
struggle.
our citizens?
It definitely is something that I think should be looked at.